Kina, tell us a little bit more about the right moves you can make.
One of the things that I have noticed is that people, how do I say it in a nice?
Just say it. Be your authentic
I'm
self.
gonna be my
Kina.
authentic self. You be honest, because you have to decide if you are going to be an ethical capitalist. Okay. And are you going to run your business? Everything that you're going to learn on our podcast is about being an ethical capitalist. And what I mean by that is doing things by the rules.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of times you're thinking, I can get away with this, I can slide through this. Everything always catches up with you. And we have seen that over the years, the biggest fall. I mean, when we started out, there was a firm called Arthur Anderson. You youngins probably have never heard of it.
Yes.
You know why? And they were the #1 accounting firm in the world. And they are no longer here.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Exactly. So
and
it's
what's
like
done in the dark will come to the light.
always.
Yes.
Always.
Preach.
And so, this is about when you manage your cash, do it ethically. Know that, don't try to convince me that you went to Neiman Marcus and you bought uniforms at Neiman Marcus. I'm sure there's some great white tees
Wait a minute.
at Neiman Marcus.
There might be something at Neiman Marcus that we can consider a uniform.
Oh, okay.
If you are a fashion model.
Right. If you're a fashion model.
Yes.
Right. If you're a fashion model and you have to go to a certain shoot. If you're an influencer.
Yes.
And part of it is the branding and the clothes
look,
and the things, then that's a business expense. If you own a truck company and you're saying that your uniforms are from Neiman Marcus, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? So you're mixing personal and business transactions. Have your business card, have a business credit card, business bank account, have your personal credit card, personal bank account. Because all you're doing when you have an ethical accounting firm that works for you, like YBP, your balanced partners, we're going to, that if it's a personal transaction on a business account, we are going to account for it as owner's distribution, which means it was like you got paid.
You're paying yourself.
You paid yourself.
Yes.
Right? Because that is the appropriate way to account for it. So, Kimberly, I mean, knowing that, how much money, should people make sure they have? Or should they be realistic about it?
So the thing is, again, you have to know how much you have, and you can't develop a cash flow plan on dreams.
Yes.
You must know what's coming in and you must know what's going out. And you have to have a process for tracking that. Because if you don't know, then you're just making up. I was about to cuss. Shh. You making up. We're not supposed to have the tea. But you're making it up. And then when you're making it up, you're setting yourself up for failure. So you have to know. Again, you got to step on that financial scale and know what you have, figure out what you have coming in, know what you have going out. That is a business expense.
Absolutely.
And that's how you develop how much cash you need. But if you don't have this background information, then there's no way you can set yourself up for success.
And I think a lot of times small business owners think that for some reason, if they don't pay themselves, it's almost like a combination of things. One, that they are truly invested in their business, because they're letting the money sit there and reinvesting. If they don't pay themselves, somehow they're lowering their tax burden almost. Because, there's no transaction from the business to them personally. And that ends up causing them to then commingle funds
Right.
and really get themselves into a bind in terms, it mentally probably more than anything, with doing the separation between the two. And so I just wanted to say that again because it's so important.
It's one of the main things that we see as a problem.
It's very important. And if you're using, again, an ethical accounting firm,
Yes, they
that
will
money-
call you out on it.
and that money will go to owner's distribution. So you think you're not paying yourself, but you are paying yourself.
You're paying
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
and it will be on your tax return.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
so it's important that, why play with the IRS?
Right.
Why?
Don't.
And then you know what they also do?
What do they do, April?
Once they get into that mode of commingling and not managing their cash properly, what happens is once they start playing with the IRS, then they start trying to figure out how to keep playing with the IRS, or they get themselves into a bind and don't know how to get out of playing with the IRS.
Yes.
And so
And then they call us.
yeah, and what I mean by that is one of the things when you're doing a tax return, for instance, and part of every tax return has a comparative section to it where you compare the prior year to the current year.
Yes.
And so if those numbers are out of whack,
It's flag.
red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag,
We
red
need.
flag.
It's like red alert.
Audit.
Exactly.
And we don't want that.
And you don't.
Exactly. And so it's like, okay, well, where can I move this? Well, where can I do that? No. How about
Now
you
you're in
just
it.
do it right? How about you stop doing your personal stuff with your business? How about you keep those separate? And let's do things the right way. If you owe taxes, just pay it. Just pay it.
Just pay it.
You have the money. Just pay it.
Right. And we'll help you plan to
Right.
pay it.
Yes.
Right. And so that's what I said. It's just easier
You
to do
sleep
right.
a lot
Sleep a lot
easier.
better.